On today's episode of The Hustling Agent, we have Justin Sheppard from the Agency Texas. They're this great brokerage with offices all over the state of Texas, and they do a ton of business. Check it out. All right, folks. Today we are sitting with my buddy, Justin Sheppard, co-owner and broker of the Agency in Texas. What is going on, Justin?
Hey, Sonny, how are you? Thanks for having me. With all things considered, doing pretty great, man. How about you?
Good, man. Chilling out here. I guess that's all without that we can do is chill, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Justin, runs the top team in Texas, right?
Top 4 team in Texas. Yep.
Top 4 team in Texas. They do a ton of transactions. Great agents, great coaching. Something that I really like about you guys is you guys really look for coaching moments for all your agents. So being that, having said that, now during COVID, and you guys are on full lockdown too in Texas, right?
That's correct. Yep.
But real estate has been deemed an essential business, right?
Yes.
What are the guidelines around showing houses? Is it different in every city that you guys work in?
So, it's basically safety first, gloves, mask. Agents on the listing side, if we're on the buyer side, they're doing a good job of putting in very specific notes on what they want done. So there's gloves at the house, there's additional masks, there's hand sanitizer. Some agents have gone as far as going back into the house every day and wiping all the fixtures down.
Wow.
So I think we've done a very good job of, from what I've seen, of taking the necessary precautions to keep people safe. It's one of those things that, as you experienced for the first couple of weeks there when we went back and forth at the state level and the governor and even the city level about, are we going to be essential? I think people took that time to kind of reflect and figure out, okay, if we are going to be essential, what can we do to maximize the safety precautions and make sure that we're not putting our clients or ourselves or our families at risk of getting the coronavirus, and it's still having a semblance of that work life that we need to feed our families and provide for our loved ones. So I think our markets have done an exceptional job of that.
Good, man. You know what? That's the first time I've heard of listing agents going in to listings and wiping them
Yeah,
down.
I just read one yesterday. I think she knew it was going to be a high traffic listing, and she said, agents, I'm going back in at the end of every day and wiping things down.
Wow.
But still, don't touch. I'll leave the lights on. Don't touch anything. Use social distancing, all that good stuff. So I thought that was really thoughtful and well planned out. I'm sure and I think this one was vacant, but I'm sure if it's a seller occupied situation and they are going to allow showings, that makes them feel much, much better about the situation.
Yeah, that's the sticky part here is our local association is saying, hey, don't show occupied homes. Of course, it's still happening to an extent, right? We have forms now from the local California Association. I don't know if you guys have new forms for showings.
We do.
Yeah, so that's been good and thoughtful, right? And for these bureaucratic associations that we don't always love the most, they have pivoted nationally well.
Yeah, and I think sellers do a good job of kind of band-aiding it together, right? They can't really leave the house for an extended period of time. I guess they could drive around, but at the end of the day, they're shooting video, they're doing live videos. I've heard there was an agent in California was on a conference call, and they were saying they would have a dual Zoom meeting with the seller on one end muted, them talking, and then them walking through the buyer and the buyer's agent on different aspects of the home. So really a collaborative effort to piece it together and do as absolute best as we can. At the end of the day, you're just doing what you can to help service your clients and help them out. And, I'm sure that those buyers are super appreciative. It almost feels like we're all coming to the table together. I feel like the deals we've gotten done, it's been much more of like, put your heads together and figure out how to get this thing to closing. I'm sure you deal with it in your market and everyone else deals with it nationwide. You can, some relationships become contentious between the buyer and seller.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're reaching that level today because sellers are a little bit more nervous. Buyers are very nervous. Sellers know that the buyers are nervous. So we're kind of coming together and saying, hey, what can we do? In fact, we just had one where we had to tear down a garage to get a deal done. It was a appraisal in Houston. I don't think and there would have been a snowball's chance had we not been in this situation. Seller, buyer, buyer's agent, me, we all, lender, we come together, figure out a solution, and get the garage torn down. Like, those things just wouldn't have happened in a normal environment. So,
Absolutely.
And so it's a little bit of like, yeah, we're in a really tough situation, but then people are working together in a really beautiful manner that kind of allows us to get deals done, which I think is great.
Dude, that's a good insight. And, now that you say it, it's been happening here too. It's the whole process has become more collaborative, right?
Yep.
Which is beautiful, like you're saying. So let's talk about like numbers and whatnot, right?
Sure.
What are you seeing out there in your markets? Because you're in Austin, Houston, and
San Antonio.
Yeah.
So we're doing well considering. I had a call on Monday with my team. I think we put the first couple of days after the weekend, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like 17 deals under contract. I'm really proud and humbled by the effort that my team is putting in. I mean, I couldn't have imagined if you would have told me 60 plus days ago that we were going to be on total lockdown. The economy was going to be, falling from the sky. Oil is going to be negative $34 a barrel. Yeah. Healthcare workers are getting this incredible applause from citywide in these big cities. It's an awesome event. I mean, if you would have told me all these crazy things are happening in the world, and then you would have told me your team is going to still go out and graciously perform at a level that is unthinkable, I don't think I could have even put that together. But they have, which is great. I think they know at the end of the day, like we talked about offline, like it's their livelihood. They have to feed their families. Yes. They have to take these over crazy precautions. And I think that there's a level of pride, which I'm, again, it's really humbled by, that they take in the business and they don't want it to die off.
They can't let it die off, right?
I mean, I suppose you could let anything happen, but at the end of the day, we want them there. They want to be there, and they have gone above and beyond what we could have ever asked for, and I'm super grateful for it. As far as exact numbers, we're at, so far this month, 20 plus million under contract. I think we had 119 deals under contract total, a ton of new construction. So there was a point in Austin, at least, when new construction was not deemed essential. They flip-flopped on it about a couple weeks in, and thankfully we've been able to make those deals jive where people are buying houses that are 4, 5, 6 months out, which has helped a lot. So I think it takes the pressure off you going to actually see houses. If you're like, hey, I'm gonna go to a new construction community, I'm gonna go once, sign a contract, and then I'll go back for the other walkthroughs and stuff. But it may be in a couple of months, which buys me time, which has been really, really nice.
So let me ask you real quick, since you guys are in Houston as well, do you know what the impact of this oil right now? It's only been this week that it's really been in the shitter, right? What's that do to Houston housing market?
So I think at the hyper volatility level, it will create a level of uncertainty if you're in that industry, right? So if you have a job that hinges upon the price of oil, you're going to be very hesitant if you own a home to move, spend money moving, and buy a more expensive home. If you're a first-time home buyer living in an apartment, you may sit still for a while and see how the job market shakes out. I think my gut tells me that the market will rebalance at some point at a lesser price, and there are going to be a lot of casualties as far as jobs. Once we get through that, we'll see it kind of stabilize again, certainly. But I think for now, with the wild swings, uncertainty in jobs, I think it's going to have a pretty profound impact. Houston has a lot of other industries, thankfully. There was Thomas, my partner, sent me a report that's saying that Harris County was one of the more stable counties.
Oh, cool.
So there are, again, there's other industries that help that out, but energy is a huge part of that. but definitely going to affect those folks that are in that sector for sure.
Yes, I mean, living out here in Cali, I don't know anything about it, right?
Yeah, well, it's a big part of the life in Texas, you know.
Yeah.
So Midland, Odessa, South Texas, Permian Basin, Eagle Ford Shale, Houston's the hub there, a lot of refineries. So there's, you know, it is a big part of our life, and it will affect a lot of people. It's gonna be very interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, good. Yeah, totally. What kind of conversations have you been having with your agents and just any other agents, you know, nationally? Not necessarily, I was going to say not necessarily part of a big team, but all your agents are part of a big team. So
Right. Yep.
what advice have you been giving your agents and other realtors that you know all over?
So when it started, I told them to take a deep breath and clear their kind of, you know, kind of bohemian here, but kind of clear your mind and stay positive and kind of just focus on what you can control. I think there was a tremendous amount of uncertainty when this first started. You know, you're hearing these crazy sensationalized numbers of potential deaths and what the virus can do and how quickly it spreads, and it will seed fear in you very quickly. And it did me. I mean, I'm not going to lie. You know, it's terrifying to think of. You know, I have elderly in-laws, and my parents live in Austin, and they're elderly, and you know, I hate for it to happen to one of them. I think now we've kind of moved into, like we talked about offline, a little bit of a plateau. I'm a little bit more at ease with what's going on. I'm comfortable with what's happening, and I'm kind of giving that advice as I feel it. I'm not trying to portray something that I don't feel, so I'm not trying to tell them like, "Hey, don't worry about it." When I'm worried inside, because I don't think that's fair to them. So if I am okay with what we're doing, I'm going to convey that to them. We told them from the beginning, if you are uncomfortable at any point getting out of the house or you have family to take care of, we understand. We also understand that we have families to feed, and so we understand it's a very interesting balance you're trying to maintain. So I've just been telling them from the beginning, stay positive, do what you can. As far as is directly work related, start building those relationships with people who are going to come out of this firing out of the gate. People are going to be anxious, right? It's beautiful. It's 75 and sunny here in Austin. I can't imagine what kind of activity we'd have on a normal, you know, late April day. It would be crazy. We had, you know, our Austin team, I just got a message before we started, that 14 appointments yesterday, which is incredible. I can't imagine what it would be again if we were not in lockdown. So they're doing what they can. They're, as far as just day-to-day activities, building those relationships, getting into the database, cleaning up their pipelines. Like we talked about, there's a level of expectation that you have a lot of time because you're not driving to the office, you're not driving to appointments. Use that time effectively.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not going to be tied to your computer 8 hours a day. I get it. Well, time block 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, 2 hours in the evening. Go in and tidy up your database and really use this to propel your business when we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Because there's so much business to be had that I suspect, and depending on the total time length of this thing, there's going to be a pretty good washout of agents, right?
Yep.
So there's going to be people that are coming back, and I'm sure you've seen it. There's a spike in traffic online, right? People are needing more information. People are inquiring, they need information. Their agents are not working. So not to be an opportunist, but at the end of the day, we're here to help people. And if there are more people to help, that's more potential business for us. So we need to be the people who have stayed in the game, stayed in that headspace for the last 60, 90 days. When we know what's going on and we know what's going to happen when we get out of this thing, right? We're continuing to work, even though it's not we're not taking huge bites out of the apple. We're nibbling away at it every single day and getting better. Me and you, I know you too. It's just it's one of those things that me and you would never just sit in our house and twiddle our thumbs. I'm sure you probably come up with 15 business ideas since you've been at home of things that you could do that can make you money. And that's that mindset, right? And we, as leaders, the agents are in our image. And so we want them to be the same thing. How can they make their businesses better even if they can't get out and show houses and do the things that they normally would do. So
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the good things about entrepreneurship, and even, having real estate be our vehicle for being an entrepreneur, is it just allows us to be creative during these challenging times, right? I mean, I'm sure we both came up with a bunch of different things for our agents to be doing to try and transact.
yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, the minute, it was announced that, well, we weren't essential at first, and there was a lot of conjecture out there about whether or not we were, and it ended up changing. But, I was sitting having lunch. It was one of the very last days I've actually went out to have lunch. And I remember texting my branch managers and my partner, Thomas, being like, look, the next big thing is going to be virtual. It's going to be recording, walking through the house, posting it online, and that's what we're going to spend our time doing. I hadn't quite thought it through, but it ended up actually that's what happened. But people have gotten super creative, like I said, band-aiding it together as best as they can. But it does. And I was thinking about this last night. It's taking a lot of that legwork out, right? How many times have you gone and shown a house and they've walked in and been like, this isn't the one, walked back out. Now you can go Zoom it, record it on your phone, FaceTime. Hey, you know what? I just previewed this house. It's not for you. Let's move on to the next one. So yeah, you're spending some time up front doing that, but you're also saving time driving around. So, you're going to, the creativity, I've loved what I've seen so far. There've been, on our conference calls with other team leaders, there's been just a tremendous amount of thought that goes into like, how can we just keep this thing moving forward? So it's great.
Yeah. I don't know about in your markets, but in Sacramento, the MLS just rolled out virtual open houses like this.
Yeah, we did here too, or in the markets we saw too.
So I haven't got a chance to play with it too much, and let's be honest, I'm not going to go do an open house. But
yeah,
some of my agents, I've been encouraging them to go because our listing inventory is massive right now.
Well, I know we've done a lot of virtual showings.
Yeah, same.
In recorded, Zoom, FaceTime. I mean, literally whatever, however we can do it, we're doing it. So I know we've gotten several contracts that have been brought to my attention that were done completely virtually.
The entire thing, right?
Well, in Austin, in most of our, in Houston's a little higher. It's a little more balanced market. Austin's a seller's market, has been for 10 years. So you don't have a lot to choose from. So if you trust your agent and you do a FaceTime video and he or she is like, this house is incredible, it's exactly what you're looking for, well, it may be the only one. So yeah. We're still seeing multiple offers on a lot of properties, which is
Are
crazy.
you really?
Oh my goodness. Every price point. We had a $900,000 listing, had multiple offers in 7 days. 3 offers.
Wow. So I'm not. I've been listing. I've been putting about 2 houses on the market every day.
Wow.
And taking like 3 listings every day. It's been bountiful, but I've only had 1 with multiple offers in the last 2 weeks, and it was like 7 offers in 4 hours, something crazy.
Yeah, well, that must have been priced, below. Was it at or below?
Yeah, it was below, but we got it up. So good. Last question. So I own a brokerage, have a big team, and always call you for advice anyways. So here's my selfish opportunity is to ask you, what advice do you have for me, bro?
Yeah. So if I think, I don't want to perch myself on a high horse at all, but what we're doing right now is just analyzing every aspect of our business. So there are going to be a lot of changes, I think, especially in the lead generation sector. So as you know, or may or may not know, Realtor.com had changed the way they're doing business. They had a big shakeup at their corporate office yesterday.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about that.
I don't have an opinion either way, although I do know some of the people that were impacted, and I think they're a great company. I think that We're going to continue to do business with them. We like them. Same goes for Zillow and our other partners. So, but things are going to change. So what we're doing is analyzing our business, every aspect of it, from agent splits, fees, production, expectations, ancillary services. Floating around the philosophical idea of, does real estate become a loss leader, and we focus on other aspects? Do we move to listings? Do we go in? Do we build our buyer side team? Do we segment the team? So really deep diving on every aspect and just figuring out where the inefficiencies are and what's going to work, and using the time we have to do those things. On a normal busy day, when I go to the office, it's fairly hectic. I mean, I have agents coming in, talking about a lot of contracts, helping people do things. I have phenomenal branch managers who help me with that. But at the end of the day, things roll up to me because I'm co-founder and broker.
Yeah.
So it's very busy, and I have more time now. So it's a really good time to reflect on those things and just figure out, are we doing, what's best for the business, long-term, short-term, and for everybody involved. And we're making some changes, right? We have a meeting later on today with a big partner of ours to make some changes. We're going to implement another business that we bought into. We're rolling that out. So, I mean, we're moving and shaking and doing what we can. And I think broadly, we're trying to insulate ourselves and thinking about, if this were to happen again, do we have the business that's bulletproof? And are we going to be so profoundly impacted the second time around that, we may not be here? You think about, there were a lot of like old school Austin restaurants that just simply won't make it. They've never adapted. They never, they never changed. They probably weathered a lot of storms, recessions and other things, and massive rent increases. But this was a straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be in that position. We want to be in a position where we thrive, we flourish, and if there's change, we move in front of it, and we learn and we adapt, and we figure out, okay, this or a similar situation were to happen, can we pivot really quickly, right? Can we rally the team and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to make money. Are you guys in? Yes, we're in. Okay, let's do it. Because you think about a brokerage that has, 1,000 agents. The broker probably doesn't know a lot of them. They're not on leads. They're not doing that many deals. So they're, I just read there was on one of the Lab Code or another forum, one of the leaders was like, team leaders or brokers was like, hey, what do I do with all these people who don't produce?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
that.
I was waiting for them to produce their 1 to 2 Sphere deals a year. That's not happening. They're costing me $50 a month. What do I do with them, or whatever it is, right? So, I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to be caught again not knowing what to do. So, and not having a well-insulated business that will thrive throughout any market conditions. And it doesn't matter, like Sonny, it doesn't matter if you're not selling those listings today, because they will sell. So yeah, you're not putting them under contract immediately with multiple offers, but all that listing inventory is generating leads. It's giving your team opportunities. It's marketing opportunities, and you're going to sell them at some point, right? I mean, I don't know what time on market is, I would assume it's probably a couple of months, but you're going to get them under contract, and you're going to definitely have a wave of them that go under contract as soon as it's safe to go back outside.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried. I mean, dude, and that's like, part of my strategy is I want to have all the inventory, right? Because then, I'm in control, right?
And we're kind of on the other. We have a nice listing inventory, but we are really heavy into buyers. We've always been into lead generation.
Well, but same, like I'm talking about me personally. Like,
oh yeah, are you taking the listings?
Well, I mean, no, I have a listing agent do it, right? But
big block.
Best at Homes Group, yeah, my team does.
Yeah.
I've scheduled like 4 listing appointments off leads this week myself, because I've been calling them because it's fun, right? But my wife won't let me go on them. She's all,
no, I mean, that's understandable. Hey, here's the thing. You know what? Last night I was doing what I do, thinking about things. Here's at minimum what you can do to make, if you're an agent and you have a couple of appointments, you want to level up, Zoom, get a virtual background, get a green screen, put your logo on it, and start making videos, get you a YouTube channel, and start pumping out content.
Yes, dude, I say it every day.
Listing appointments with a nice virtual background. In a suit, you can be in your underwear. We'll put a jacket on, and you could hit 10 virtual listing appointments a day. Never leave the house. And yeah, you're gonna have to go to the house eventually. But here's the deal. Some of them will be ready to list. Some of them you're gonna have to go to the house. Maybe you find a partner that's willing to go to the house who doesn't have kids or elderly people around them, whatever it is. That's the arrangement you make. So if you are in that mindset where I'm just gonna not do anything, that's just not gonna work, right? You got to be in the mindset. I'm gonna figure out, even if it's like hacking it. There's things out there you can do to put your name out there and be successful. And I mean, I love the idea. Like I'm sure you spend, I hate to even admit this, but you spend a significant amount of time on Facebook watching people's videos. Yep. When Robert Slack puts out a video, you watch it.
Yeah.
When Sonny puts out a video, you watch it.
Yep.
I watch it.
Thanks.
I watch all your videos, right? So, if you're someone who's like, hey, how can I make an impact? How can I build my brand? How can I, keep my mind in the right space? Start pumping out content.
Dude,
right?
I've been publishing one of these every day this fucking week, dude.
I love it.
Right? So last kind of fun question. Where's the first place that you're going when quarantine is lifted?
Oh my God.
To get a haircut?
Yeah. Haircut first. My wife and I, our favorite restaurant is Uchi Sushi. So I'm going to take her there as soon as this is over. It's going to be really hot in Austin. So
Same here, yeah.
I don't know, man. We may do a beach trip, just somewhere we can get out and sit outside and eat seafood and hang out.
That's what I just told my wife. I said, as soon as we can, we're going to Coronado in San Diego, the Coronado Island.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just went too long ago. Yeah. Go there and hang out because that place is awesome, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what we'll absolutely be doing when this is all over. Is just getting out, relaxing, enjoying life, appreciating the fact that we made it through this with minimal incidents, and grateful that we're still working and hustling and having a good time, man. And honestly,
hell yeah. Well, man, Justin, thank you so much. I appreciate your insight always. I always learn so much from just our bullshit chats.
Likewise.
Nice chats like this too. So man, thank you. And we'll put this out soon and I'll let you know.
Okay, awesome, Sonny. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
I hope you got something out of today's episode. If you did, share it with a friend. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Subscribe on YouTube. And we'll see you next time on The Hustling Agent.